What's up guys, Trey Lowell here, and today I want to talk about one of the most important things you as an electric skateboard owner are probably not doing, and that's maintenance, coming up next. So now that I've owned some electric skateboards for coming up on a year now, the one thing in the beginning that I kind of took for granted was maintenance on the board. Now, one disclaimer, these boards are being used as transportation, and a lot of these are being used in the 20 to 22 mile an hour range, which means there's going to be some wear and tear on these boards. I recently just got back from a trip to the beach where I was riding up and down some really gravelly, bumpy roads. Also was getting near a lot of sand, so the one thing that I wanted to show you guys is how I clean my boards so that I can get the best performance. Now, small disclaimer, I'm not a professional, but this is how I clean my boards. So a couple of items that I want to go ahead and start off with. And one thing that you're probably going to need is some WD-40, and the reason being is it's going to almost be like a lubricant. It's going to kind of oil up the bearings, some of the screws, just in case there's any rust. So WD-40 is going to be one thing that you're going to need. Next thing you're going to probably need, because it's going to get a little messy, is a cloth, preferably one that does not shed. Next, screwdriver. A lot of these boards, the bolts, you're going to need a screwdriver, or you're going to need an Allen wrench. Now I know on my Meepo board I need a screwdriver, on the WowGo Allen wrench, but probably going to need a screwdriver in most situations. And the next thing you're probably going to want to have is your skate tool. Most boards are going to come with one, so go ahead, don't forget that. And then last but not least, an Allen wrench, and that is usually going to be used coming near the hub motors. I'm going to probably clean this area because it's starting to rust and I know there's a lot of buildup, so an Allen wrench. So those are the key items that you're going to need to clean your board in most situations. Okay, so first off, I'm probably just going to start with the WD-40, and the reason being is that the board is just extremely nasty. So what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to hit some of these areas where these bolts seem to be building up rust, and I want to spray the WD-40 on there first, because then hopefully it's going to loosen it up so I don't strip out any of the bolts. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm actually spraying some of the WD-40 into the hub motor bolts, because when the time comes that I need to take these wheels off and I need to get to the hub, I'm going to need to have those bolts not get stripped out. On one of my other boards it did, and unfortunately it's going to be a royal pain to get a new hub motor or a new wheel on there. Honestly, I'm pretty much going to put WD-40 on any kind of screw on the board just because it cannot hurt. I'm also going to put some of the WD-40 in the bearings. Like I said, since I have the nice bearings on there, I want to keep them good and clean. And we also will be taking the wheels off here in a bit and really getting down there and cleaning. I do tend to spray some kind of in the crevice here, just to kind of lube it up. And then when I remove this area here, I'll also WD that. So the first place that we're going to start is with the wheels. I find that towards the back near the hub probably needs a little bit more time for the WD-40 to soak in. So I'll move to the front of the board and where we'll begin on the wheels. Okay. We have our skate tool. And most of you guys are going to have the skate tool, so this is going to be pretty easy to achieve. Got our bolt there. And if you have any kind of if you happen to have any kind of washers, definitely make sure to keep them. A lot of them are going to have washers right there in the bearing or right there. And so there's one wheel off. And like I said, I'm going to spray some WD-40 right here. Let it soak. We're going to do our other wheel. Like I said, there's a washer. Always make sure. Boop. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to remove the bearings from the wheels. Oh, all right, let's skate tool it. Our screwdriver. Okay. And I'm just kind of working it little by little and wiggle it out. There we go. Okay. Bearings save our little O-ring or whatever that is in between. And then you can pretty much do the same step and repeat right there. Like I said, on an angle, it's going to make it a little bit easier, and you're just working it around and around. Okay. And now we have it there, wheel. And so we will be cleaning that out, and that's where I'm going to begin. I'm actually just going to, with my cloth. If you really want to get fancy, you could get into these crevices with a Q-tip or something of that nature. I'm not going to go as far as that. I'm just really trying to get the outside of the wheel and where the bearings would go nice and clean. Get the WD-40 off because it's going to attract dirt, dust, whatever it may be if you don't get it off there. So that's one thing that we want to do. Okay, and that wheel is pretty much clean. So we'll put that off to the side. And I'm going to start with the bearings. Now the bearings, I'm just going to spray a little WD-40 on them, I did not do that earlier. Okay, they're gonna kind of soak there. And while they're soaking, I'm gonna work on the next wheel. And I'm sure there's gonna be somebody out there that says the screwdriver method is screwing it up, but in my experience, it hasn't messed it up yet, so this is the way that I do it. And there we go, spraying it down. Yeah, I mean, they just already look so much cleaner, which means just that sand, that dirt that was probably building up in there and eventually going to ruin the bearings and the wheels. We're just going ahead and getting that out of there. This is something I really don't think you have to do very often. I've owned the WowGo now for 6 to 8 months, and I pretty much ride it every day, and I only cleaned it twice, and this is the first time that I've actually done like a full cleaning. Boom. And we're just gonna clean up the board a little bit. So now that we've kind of wiped down the board, that's looking nicer. Let's go ahead and install our bearings back into the wheels. And the one thing you're gonna probably wanna make sure is, typically to know the inside or the outside of the wheel, there's gonna be little like divots slash like indentions in here, and I know most of you probably aren't gonna be able to see it, but you could feel it. I'm feeling it with my fingernail, and that means that's gonna be the inside of the wheel. The slick side's gonna be the outside. Just for reference, it is probably gonna help to make sure you have that correct. Bearings wise, since these are reds, I know that the clear side is actually gonna go on the inside. The black is gonna go on the outside. Typically, the outside is gonna be where the text or whatnot is of what the brand is. It might say China on there. The back side will be clear for most bearings. So in this situation, you can almost push it in with your thumb. Boom, locked right in. Now let's not forget to have our O-ring go back into place, just like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I've just got it sitting in there right now. And then our other bearing is gonna go right here. We're just using our thumbs, nice and easy. And then this little O-ring now, when we put it back on the truck, that's probably gonna be their most difficult thing, is just lining that up to get it on there. But slides on like that. Let's not forget our washer. Washer goes on. And putting our bolt back in place. Okay. I'm not gonna tighten that currently. Well, let's go ahead and tighten it. Okay. When tightening these bolts, I highly recommend that you tighten them nice and tight. Make sure they're locked down. About 3 or 4 months ago, I was riding and literally one of the bolts came off of here, and it was because I had neglected tightening the bolts for 3 or 4 months, and sure enough, boom, and it was not nice hitting the ground the way I did. Okay, so you do not want them to really be wiggling back and forth. You want to make sure that it's pretty nice and tight on there, and that's why you also want to make sure that washer's there. Okay. Okay, wheel number 1, and now wheel number 2. Okay, so now that we are done with our bearings and our wheels, we're just going to move to the back to the hub motors, and like I said, we're going to start with the Allen wrench and see how this goes. Okay, so now that we have this off, you're basically going to have the metal plate right here, that, and you should have 4 bolts. And we're going to spray those down with WD. Okay. Get our hub motor out of there, which sometimes can be a little tricky. This thing is really stuck in there. Okay, that's exactly why we're cleaning it out. It's just got sand all in there. Okay, there you guys have it. There's what a WowGo hub motor looks like inside. And we'll spray a little up there. Boom. And then we're gonna do the other side real quick. Okay, so now that we've got everything back in place, I hope you guys enjoyed that relatively quick video on how to keep the maintenance up on your electric skateboard. Like I said, I'm not a pro at this, but I own about 4 or 5 of these, and in my experience, this is the best way to get the best performance and keep your board running for as long as possible. Quick, easy maintenance, a little WD-40, screwdriver, a skate tool, and a towel, and you can really make a difference in your board. Hey guys, it's Trey Lowell with Lowell Productions, and as always, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you like the content I keep producing on this channel, hit that subscribe button, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.